It's hard to overstate how far good technique can take your climbing. When you focus on technique, you'll find that the moves click into place and you start to float up routes that used to be out of reach. Technique is a huge topic, so we're going to introduce a few key concepts that you can work on. This video is going to cover the importance of your feet, ways to help maintain balance, and some techniques for efficient climbing. Feet are the foundation of climbing. Lots of beginners try to pull themselves up the wall and quickly tire out. Think about climbing a ladder. You don't pull yourself up. You step up and use your arms and hands for balance. It's the same in climbing. There are two basic techniques for using your feet in face climbing: edging and smearing. Edging is exactly what it sounds like. You step on a hold with the rubber on the edge of your shoe. You'll most often use the inside edge to make use of your big toe for stability, but you can also edge with the outside of your shoe. Which side you use depends mostly on which direction you need to move to get onto or off of the hold. You're smearing anytime you don't have an actual foothold and you're relying on the friction of your shoe's rubber against the rock. Smearing is especially useful in slab climbing, when you're on low-angle rock without many defined footholds. When you need to smear, look for any bumps or dips that will give a little extra friction or flatten out the angle for better purchase. There are a couple other things to think about that will help you stay on your feet. It's usually easier to stay in balance when your feet are directly below you, so keep an eye out for footholds in good positions. You want to be looking for foot placements, even more than for handholds. Once you set your foot, try to keep it still, so you have a better chance of staying on the hold as you make your next move. It also helps, especially when you're smearing, to keep your heel low. With a low heel, there's plenty of rubber against the rock for extra friction, and if your heel's too high when you shift your weight onto your foot, you could lever it right off the wall. When you're lucky enough to have a line of jugs leading straight up the wall, climbing is pretty intuitive. But when you start having to move and pull in different directions, how you use your body to maintain balance becomes essential. For example, think about a time that you have to use a hold that's out to the side and you can't pull straight down. Unless you find a way to counter the force of that side pull, you'll lose balance and barn door off the wall. There are a lot of ways to stay balanced. You could press your foot in the opposite direction of the pull to create counter pressure. You could create counter force by pulling in the opposite direction with either your other hand or a hooked foot. Or you could just lean over hard and use your body weight as a counterbalance. There are a few tricks that'll help you use less energy and give your muscles a break as you climb. Climbers love to say straight arms are happy arms. The idea is that when you straighten your arm, your skeleton takes the weight, not your muscles. When you have even a slight bend in your elbow, your muscles are working to hold it there. With fully straight arms, most of the force goes to your bones. To help you straighten out your arms on vertical or slightly overhanging rock, focus on your hips. Beginners often keep their hips squared to the wall, which pushes your weight away from the wall. Instead, try to keep one hip pushed up against the wall. This way your weight is over your feet and you can lean back with straight arms. Another benefit to keeping your hip close to the wall is that it also brings your shoulder closer. Having your shoulder close changes the angle of pull on handholds and makes them easier to grip. And of course, keep your eyes on the wall and don't just focus on the chalk marks. Look for holds that will let you take a quick rest. Good feet are especially helpful. When you find a rest, try to get your pulse down and shake out your arms so they don't get pumped later. Once you've got a grasp on the basics, check out our video on climbing moves to see technique in action. Or click here to find an REI class near you.